everything the right
it'd be
way.
good to know. If we don't know something, please educate us.
Okay.
But
Well,
we've always been doing that.
This is Susan Bassi in Sacramento, California, where a mother once was arrested and had her home searched after a court reporter falsely claimed she had failed to pay for a transcript related to her family court proceedings. And transcripts are produced by licensed court reporters, and they are the written record of the state's legal proceedings. And this is a video about court reporters and transcripts. Court reporters are licensed much like attorneys, real estate brokers, and other professionals. Their job requires shorthand skills that results in them producing a written record of a legal proceeding known as a transcript. However, laws in California provide for court reporters to be paid by taxpayers to create the transcripts, and then they are allowed to privately charge for the transcripts themselves because they own the copyright on those written records of our legal proceedings known as transcripts. And they can charge the lawyers, the parties, members of the public, and even reporters who might want to view a written record because in California, cameras are not allowed in courtrooms. Over the last decade, court reporters have gradually been disappearing from California's courtrooms. And without a transcript and a law on the books that prohibits electronic recording of court proceedings, this has left over 1 million hearings a year conducted without any formal or historic record of those proceedings. And now there is a lawsuit in the California Supreme Court that challenges this issue, claiming that it is unconstitutional. So we headed to Sacramento's Court Reporter Board to learn more about the issue.
Go. Look, there's the yellow bridge.
Sacramento is also home to the Court Reporter Board. That's the licensing agency that disciplines court reporters who might change transcripts, delay transcripts, or charge excessively for them. And we came to investigate what we could find at the Court Reporter Board while we were in Sacramento.
Court Reporters Board 230. And that's where we're going.
While most court reporters in the state do their job diligently and ethically, there are a few bad apples that will delay transcripts, change transcripts for the benefit of certain attorneys or judges, or charge excessively so that people can't afford to buy the transcripts from their legal proceedings. But on our way to the Court Reporter Board, we ran into an individual who knew a court reporter, and this is part of our conversation that we're keeping partially off record.
It was kind of interesting. We're investigative reporters. So, and right now there's a big court case about the Court Reporters Board.
Oh.
I don't know if you know that.
I don't.
So in California, there's kind of a court reporter crisis because,
Okay, yeah, tell me, because I have a really good friend who's a court reporter. She's retired now.
yeah, so she'll be interested in this.
Yeah.
So yesterday, the California Supreme Court, there was the Family Violence Appellate Project and the Bay Area Legal filed a writ petition directly to the California Supreme Court saying in the government code there is a conflict with the law because the government code, which was a result of lobbying from the Court Reporter Board, put in place that you cannot use electronic recordings in family law, unlimited civil, and probate cases. So the court reporters gradually, and you'll hear various reasons, and we're kind of investigating that because it's really not a demographic issue entirely. It's more private judging, arbitration has kind of taken a lot of those people out.
It has, yes.
And some
I've always wondered why because I'm like, why don't they record everything? You think that they would record everything because they wouldn't have to rely on the accuracy of these court reporters. But so you're saying there was some kind of law a long time ago.
So the law says that you can't use electronic recordings. So right now what they're trying to do is get the government code changed to say that they can record it because 1 million hearings a year are being performed without any documentation. And if you're a litigant in family law and there's no transcript, you can't appeal. So it's a civil rights issue because people don't have due process in being able to appeal.
The transcripts,
right.
So you can't do it. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't get that changed years and years ago.
You know why? Court reporter lobby is very powerful.
Okay, I was just wondering.
And the judges we interviewed an old CEO and he told us that he tried to point out that the court reporters were overcharging the court sometimes.
Yeah.
And they said, thank you, pat him on the head, and then gave him a promotion to the broom closet where he retired.
But see, the judges do. Do they want that? Do they?
Do you know what he told us?
Why?
It was really interesting. He couldn't believe I got the interview. He was a retired CEO, and I just think he didn't care. He said that court reporters change transcripts all the time to make judges look good. I said, can you give me an example?
I knew you were going to say something like that. Because what other interest would they have in keeping it that way?
Right.
A recording's a recording's a recording. You can't fight with that.
But what he said was, for instance, if the witness is wearing a blue dress and the judge, this is the example he gave, and the judge says she's wearing a red dress, they'll change it in the transcript so that the judge doesn't look stupid. And so,
okay, wow.
you know, and the other thing is
God knows I
that
don't
without
make other things
cameras in courtrooms so that we can see,
Yeah.
it's hard to see bias, it's hard to hear tone, and so the judges don't want the recordings. And in family law during the pandemic, all the court reporting was done, all the hearings were done remotely, so we could all see. And
Gotta tell you though, my friend said she, as a court reporter, she would be trying to, because everybody was wearing masks,
Right.
and they were doing them remotely. She goes, I'm hearing and understanding about every 10th word. How in the heck can you be producing an accurate transcript?
They're not.
She goes, it's ridiculous. But she was already pretty much retired, I think, but they were even asking her to come back and do some more because they were so desperate and everything. She goes, it's awful. She goes, I can't even understand what these people are saying. It sounds like this. Blah, 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 blah. She goes, she goes, you don't understand as a court reporter how good I got at reading people's lips. She goes, I didn't realize how much I was doing that
absolutely.
while I'm typing. And she goes, with masks on, I can't even do that. And she goes, it's awful. My transcripts have inaudible all over in them. And I'm like, what good are they?
That's right. And all they have to do is flip a switch.
Right.
And it records all these hearings. So
Okay, so just out of curiosity, in other states,
Yeah.
how do they handle it? Because I always think, every time, everybody seems to look to California. Oh, we're all going to follow what but to me, some of our stuff is so archaic that we do
Absolutely.
here. And I think other states have their act more together. And I'm like, why don't we all like talk to each other more and like go, okay, well, how do you guys do this? How do you? Because I'm wondering if it's like this everywhere.
Email address on the website last week? Was it you?
no,
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Sounds familiar.
I don't think so.
That's the contact at Office of Public Affairs.
Okay, and I have a lot of emails for you guys, so this one will be good for the public affairs. I do want to do a records request.
Oh.
And
Do you want me to take that down, or do you
yeah,
have
could
it?
you? But because I can tell you what we're looking for, and then you can maybe help me with the best way to ask for it. I don't want to be overly burdensome, but
Let me get some paper.
Okay.
And I'm going to take down exactly what you want.
okay.
I can't make it specific for you, but maybe
That's
I
fine.
can help you.
Yeah,
Give me
just
a moment.
with the wording, and that it kind of says that in the Public Records Act, because I don't know what you have, but I'll tell you what we're looking for, and then maybe you will say, oh yeah, we have that, and here it is, it's
Well-
on the website.
The Public Record Act's request will go to legal counsel,
Okay,
so I won't be able to respond to it right now.
that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
In addition to our public records requests, we've also made hundreds of media requests over the last decade, and the media requests were most frequently denied in Santa Clara County, one of the counties that is currently named in the lawsuit. And specifically, Judge James Towery denied our media requests as Chris Trusdetter was his court reporter. And Chris Trusdetter was found to have committed fraud and been willfully dishonest as a court reporter when she changed transcripts and also gave false testimony about those transcripts to the Santa Clara County District Attorney. And for that conduct, she wasn't arrested by the district attorney for altering legal records or for giving false testimony in a criminal case. Nope, she was only fined $500 from the Court Reporter Board, and the judges and the district attorney in Santa Clara County gave her a free pass. But more recently, we know that a Becky Peterson has changed transcripts in Sonoma County, and the judge, Judge Ornell in that county, granted our media request.
Case, Counsel, Mr. Camp, come on up, sir.
Your Honor, MSF Camp 4 responded, Mark Andrews. As I explained to the court a minute ago, we had the problem over the filing. I have a little declaration about it, and
What is going to order that the filing be non-pro-tunc to
December 2nd. Yes, sir.
And I'll sign the order. We do need to perfect service. How much time are you requesting?
You might have noticed that this hearing involved Mark the process server because it was in his personal litigation that a court reporter changed transcripts in his case. And when these court reporters change transcripts and the district attorney doesn't prosecute them for engaging in criminal activity, then it depends on individuals who were affected by the court reporter to take legal action themselves.
Oh,
Do it in less than 2 weeks.
okay. No, I agree. This is a process server when he's.
Right, I know, I
understand.
know, we've had cases.
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you serve within 2 weeks, and then you want to be back toward the end of March,
That would
That
be
makes
wonderful.
perfect sense, Judge.
all right? Back on, how about March the 28th?
Well,
We check your calendar,
look at my trusty phone.
all right?
Court reporters altering transcripts of legal proceedings is a matter of public interest, and Judge Ornell must have known that when he granted our media request. And while the hearing was largely dealing with issues related to court filings and continued until later in the month, the public still got to see these proceedings because Judge Ornell understood how important it was. And so we'll be back later this month as this hearing continues. But when judges grant these media requests, it means that the court reporters don't have a monopoly over documenting our legal proceedings in the state. And maybe it's time that we flip the switch and turn on cameras in all of California's courtrooms.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to change it from February 14th to February the 21st.
That seems accurate and agreeable.
All right, it's been signed.